Hi all, I'm just recording a quick update about our upcoming return to in-person services. I met with the COVID task force once again this past week. They have been amazing all year. We've met pretty regularly, monthly, at some points more than monthly, to discuss this ongoing health crisis and talk about the ways that the church needs to respond, to set policies, to plan for returning to in-person events. And their work has been so helpful to keeping everything moving. And especially now as we prepare to come back together for worship, which I know we're all so excited for. So you may have heard some of the details of what to expect starting this coming September, but I have some more details I'm sure you haven't heard because it's new news. So I'll go through that kind of briefly and just share what I know. So I hope you've heard we'll be returning to in-person church on September 12th for our water in gathering. Our water in gathering is an annual tradition. If you're new to our community, it is a time where we all bring a little bit of water from somewhere special, whether it's our kitchen sink or the ocean or some other body of water somewhere that means something to us. And we all pool that water together to create the water we use for baby blessings and rituals throughout the year, including some water from past gatherings. So it holds water from years and years and years of South Church people and memories. Holy water indeed. At the water in gathering, for the water in gathering, we'll have two service times. We will be having services at 9 and 11 a.m. for the foreseeable future. The COVID task force made the decision to do two services because it's a little bit hard to know how many people are going to be coming back to church, and because, more importantly, there is still a significant chunk of our population who haven't had the opportunity yet to be vaccinated, specifically our children and people with extenuating health circumstances that aren't able to get the vaccine yet. We at South Church, as Unitarian Universalists, value inclusion, making choices that are as inclusive as possible. And so the decisions we're making are around that idea that as many people as we can welcome back to in-person worship, we want to be able to do that. And so we're being a little cautious. We're definitely making policies that are a little different than what you see on the state level, because our priorities, again, are inclusion and a community that is welcoming the range of experiences that we are living through right now. And also that we value consent. And what that means is being as clear as possible about what to expect as we return to in-person, and for all of us to understand that it's important that we follow the policies as they're set so that people have the opportunity to step into those situations and not feel sideswiped by unexpected circumstances, like people not wearing masks when they thought that they would be, or something like that. Okay, so September 12th, 9 and 11 a.m., we will have worship services. We will have a mask policy indoors, so everyone should come prepared to wear a mask. You can bring your own. We will have masks on site if you forget. That mask policy will be in place for the foreseeable future. However, we have, as a task force, agreed that it is okay to start singing again in the sanctuary. So we'll still have our masks on, but we'll get to sing along to hymns together. Musicians who are being asked to perform are being asked to be vaccinated. So that is the one place where we're mandating proof of vaccination, and that will allow us to have some music in the room, but feel reasonably safe about the risk being taken by people at the front of the room not wearing masks. So the only exception to the mask mandate for in-person church will be people at the front, performers and speakers for the day, the minister giving a sermon. Those folks may choose to take their masks off. They also may choose to keep one on. Because we have an indoor mask policy, there will be no food and drink at church indoors for the time being. We will be having a social hour with food and drink outdoors on the portico for as long as the weather allows, definitely through the month of September. So you can anticipate that opportunity to socialize in that way. And the COVID task force is going to continue to meet and continue to evaluate how things are looking, as vaccines maybe become available to more of our children, et cetera. We will continue to be looking at these things. We'll also be continuing to look to see if there's any kind of uptick. And so it's important to stay limber and be aware that things are still, we're still living through this, that the pandemic isn't over. In terms of families, our religious education program won't be beginning, separate programming won't be starting until October. We will offer more details about the specifics around safety when that's happening. But for the month of September, we're going to be at church altogether, multi-generational church. And Jen Daldeo and I are working to set up the balcony space. For those of you who were here during the construction project a few years ago, that balcony space includes a supervised area indoor in the sanctuary where children can have activities in hand while they're attending worship, and an outer area where children who aren't feeling like attending worship can play quietly, interact with some setup supplies and things. So that area will be set up. Parents are welcome to come and attend church upstairs with their children. They're welcome to stay downstairs with their children. We'll still have journals downstairs for them to use in the sanctuary itself. Or they're welcome to bring their children up to the balcony area and sign them in with RE staff and volunteers and head back downstairs to attend church separate from your children. You get to choose what works for you. All right, finally, you may have questions. So the COVID task force has graciously agreed to create 2 opportunities for folks to come and have conversations with them. If you want to hear more details about the thinking, if you want to talk with say Rich DiPentima, who's a member of the task force, who's also an epidemiologist and knows a whole lot of stuff. If you're curious, if you're questioning, if you just want to have some dialogues, or if you have a great idea you'd like to share, you're invited to come to those forums. They will be happening at the end of August. There's one scheduled for August 29th at noon at the church in person. Wear a mask. And then we will have a second one on August 30th, the next evening, which is a Monday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. The second of those 2 conversations will include a summary of anything that came up at the first one, and it will also be recorded. So if you can't attend either of those, look out for the recording for that after August 30th, and you can catch up on that conversation as well. All right, I think that's everything. If you have questions, of course, feel free to email us at the office, info@southchurch-uu.org. I send love to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.